Dawn Daze in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, 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 it's your girl, Mickey LaDawn. Welcome back to another installment of Moonwalking with Dawn Daze. If you can see us live right now, you see that instead of my usual Daze that's sitting next to me, I have a teddy bear instead. This is the Build-A-Bear version of my boo, Daze in the building. Hey, everybody that's joining us on Instagram Live. Right now, I'm holding it down on behalf of both of us here at the station at 101 TKO Radio. Thank you for, again, tuning in and being live in the mix with us. Shout out to Nisi Lou. Shout out to Old Money Apparel in the building right now on IG. Shout out to Miss Naya Nicole. Shout out to Mr. Nelson Cruz. We got the whole fam bam here as we kick off another installment of Moonwalking with Dawn Daze. So y'all gonna have to bear with me on today's installment. I'm a little stuffed up, a little under the weather, so we're gonna be drinking some tea, but not just any type of tea, y'all. We got Dawn Daze mugs. They coming. Merch is coming. Yes. So there will be some tea to be sipped on and maybe a little bit spilled in today's installment. So thank you again for joining us. Now, if you are used to moonwalking with us, then you know that we're going to first start off by talking about our adventure time, what our adventure of the week was. So a big shout out to all my mothers out there, anybody that's celebrating Mother's Day this past weekend. Much love to you. Shout out to all my mamas. You are seen, you are heard, you are appreciated. Shout out to my mama, Miss Elena Valentine. I love you, mama. Yes, auntie, get you a cup. Get you a Dawn Daze cup. When they go live, you know I'm going to send you one. And we had the pleasure of actually experiencing Mother's Day over in Savannah, Georgia, just south of Atlanta. It was about a 3.5, 4-hour drive. And we were in Tybee Island. So I don't know if you guys have been out there before, but it is gorgeous. It's actually by the ocean too. So I was watching the dolphins doing flips and stuff, doing yoga on the beach. Lord, it was just what we needed. Shout out to the whole family for holding it down and having a great Mother's Day moment. This is the moment when I would tell Daze to tell the story, but we only got a teddy bear version of him. So not only were we celebrating Mother's Day this weekend, but we were also celebrating his grandmother's 75th birthday. Yes, Queen is 75. So that was a big, big milestone that we also celebrated this weekend. Big shout out to her. Big shout out to the entire Bayana family and legacy. I'm grateful that I can be a part of it. It's all beautiful, beautiful things. Definitely enjoyed the dolphin tour in Tybee Island. Super recommend. It's easy drive, just south of Atlanta, and it's right where, like, you see the Atlantic Ocean. It's gorgeous out there. So definitely recommend for anybody that wants to see some water, see some ocean, and mix it up a little bit. Definitely recommend taking that trip to Tybee Island. So I'm sure you guys are wondering why I'm sitting here with the teddy bear and where is Daze? Why is Daze not in the building? Well, Daze is going across the pond. Yes, he is going to be traveling to London town. London. He'll be there for a few days with his mom. They're taking a dope trip, mother-son trip. A little bit jealous, but I root for them. I know it's going to be a great trip. And for those of y'all that don't know, Daze is a huge James Bond fan. So if there's any place for him to go visit, it is definitely London. Yep, I got Bear Daze in the building with me. And so I'm really excited for him and my mama in love to take that trip together. I know they're really going to enjoy that, and Amir's really looking forward to it. So I'm holding it down on behalf of both of us today. After our break, I'll have Daze call in so that he can at least be in the building with us for a little bit and y'all can hear his voice. He's still in the DMV, back home there with the family, and then he'll take his trip. I think they leave at like 10 p.m. tonight, and then they'll arrive in London tomorrow at like 10 a.m. So it's going to be a great, great time. Auntie Nisi Lou, while you're on, just so you know, I am going to be coming to Houston. Ow. I'll be in Houston from Saturday to Wednesday. So all my family, all my peeps, hit me up. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make the days make sense while I'm there from Saturday to Wednesday, but I definitely want to be seeing my family, seeing those that I love, and hanging out with you guys. So please, please, please hit me up. I will be in Houston from Saturday to Wednesday while Daze is in London. So dope, dope stuff. I love it all. I see I have a live request. I'm not going to do it right now just because of where we're at in the show, but I love the energy. Let's do that later. Let's come back to the live request because I actually would love to do that. I just want to make sure I'm checking all of the boxes as we go through the list. Okay, cool. Actually, like just give me like a couple more minutes. And then I want to also point out, big shout out to Anicia, another Atlanta queen. Her song Back Outside featuring Lotto just played before we came in to start the show. And I don't know, something about that song is just really speaking to me right now. Anybody that's been going through just like this kind of inward season of reflection with self, it's nice to kind of turn up a little bit and remember, hey, let's take it outside. Let's allow ourselves to be seen. That's so important, never to hide ourselves, right? So I just wanted to kind of set the tone for today's Moonwalking with Dawn Daze. Shout out to Moose. Hey, Uncle Moose in the building. Today's installment, you're going to hear some music that's a little bit more of my taste. I'm feeling a certain type of vibe right now, right? I'm feeling outside. I'm feeling like a bad bee. You know what I mean? It's starting to get warm. It's springtime and I'm a spring baby, so I'm all about that too. It's just a lot of good things in the building, you know? So definitely keep it locked. Keep it close to us here as we moonwalk. And yeah, I'm looking forward to today's installment, all the things that we're going to be bringing to you guys today. Of course, we're going to be talking about the area of the planet of love. We'll talk a little bit about walking on business. And then our 3 M's, music, movie, and media. And closing things out with the astro reading for the week. So keep it locked. Don't go anywhere. We're going to keep on moonwalking with Dawn Daze exclusively on 101 TKO Radio. Peace. I sat on the corner and shook my, now I'm finna give We back, we back, we back, we back. Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. Yes. Thank you to everybody that's in the building with us right now. The vibes are felt and the vibes are good. Shout out to the teddy bear version of Daze that I have sitting next to me. Usually, I have an actual person here. But I'm just holding it down on behalf of both of us. But in an effort of using our cool call-in feature that we have here, we're going to go live with not just me, but try and also have Daze call in too. So soon you will hear Daze's voice. We're going to have him call in as we discuss the planet of love. The planet of love. So this week, in this section of Planet Love, I wanted to talk about the idea of being honest in our close relationships. Hey, Apollo Project. Hey, Rick Shaw. Thanks for joining back in. Daze is going to be joining us momentarily. I love it. I love it. I love it. Like I said, we're going to be talking about some of the things that I've been learning recently in this planet of love that has to do with that honesty without hurt. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in Daze. He's going to call in too, and we can try and discuss this together. So when I talk about that subject of honesty with the idea of love, hey Daze, you're joining me on IG, but make sure you call into the station too so they can hear you.
I updated you already about that.
Okay, cool. So we are going to, when I talked about that energy, sorry, I'm trying to do a lot of things I want y'all, please forgive me with technology. So when I talk about honesty without hurt, it's not just in our romantic relationships. We're also talking about in terms of our close relationships that have to do with our family, our friends. And a lot of times when we think about that idea of honesty, sometimes we get in our feelings, right? Because these are the people closest to us. Sometimes it's hard to hear their, true perspectives and true feelings on how we're doing with things. Hey, Uncle Eric, thank you for joining us on IG2. Love everybody in the building. I'm going to try and see if the people on the stream can see you, Daze, too. Here we got Daze live on IG joining us. And y'all, just always remember how important it is to acknowledge that when you have a close relationship and we want to protect the beauty of it, sometimes we get in our feelings about it, right? We don't want to rock the boat too much. We don't want to, cause any tension with our loved ones, especially those that, we hold closest to us. But what I've been learning, especially recently, is that when you're in a relationship, whether it's romantic or with your family, not being honest hurts a lot more over time than, trying to hide or trying to stuff things or just trying to make something feel better than it actually is. So I just wanted to kind of share those little tidbits that I've learned. Daze, did you want to add anything in that realm that I could relay to the people? Yeah.
Officially add, so feel free to continue, and I'll add in after I get that.
Okay, that works for me. Dave said he's going to add in a little bit later once he's able to actually call into the station. So, just to get a little personal, Daze and I recently had the pleasure of hosting some family members here in Atlanta, which was great because, we're all about the NASA family. We're all about making connections. We're all about taking things to new levels. And I realized in real time that when certain conversations are not had, you allow other things to bubble, right? When you don't have the space filled with direct conversation, you might have a tendency to fill it in with what you think makes sense. Maybe what you feel like is supposed to be there. And sometimes those stories that we tell ourselves is not the truth. Maybe even worse than the truth, right? Because we're making assumptions. And what do they say about assumptions? Making assumptions makes an ass out of you and me. And we don't want that. Daze and I have learned a lot about that in our relationship too. over time. We've been together since 2019, so we're going on 5 years. We've known each other since 2018, and that's been one of the biggest blessings of my relationship with you, Days, is how you've taught me that power of honesty and having consistent conversations, and how that is not something that we should be scared of. It's something that we should run towards, not run away from. And so when I bring this up, this is also an effort of being vulnerable, because I also understand that I am not an expert. I still am learning. I don't have all of the tools, but I can tell you from my own experience that honesty is truly the best policy, and you'll feel better every time when you just communicate rather than allowing space to fill in the gaps. Like I said, this is not just in our romantic relationships. This is something that we can apply with our family members, with our close friends. For me, like, my friends know me. I have a tendency to not answer texts after some time when I'm stressed out. I just don't respond. It's not because I don't want to talk to anybody. It's because usually I'm feeling emotionally overwhelmed. And texting sometimes is just one of those things that does not gel with me well. I really need a break from my phone every now and again. And for some of my friends, because we weren't having that direct conversation, the gaps that they had to fill in for themselves become so painful. Oh, Dawn doesn't like me. She's upset with me. She doesn't want to talk to me, right? Those are those stories that might be filled in when it really was not that. I was going through my own personal stuff. So it's liberating when I hear my friend tell me, hey, you hurt my feelings when you didn't respond to my text. It's liberating when I hear my friend say, I would like to talk to you more often. What are the parameters of communication that works best for you? Rather than us going a long time without speaking and them assuming that we don't have a positive relationship anymore, right? That is the goal. How can we fill in those gaps? So I try my best to take ownership and responsibility for when I go a while without speaking to those that I love, and be honest in why. Usually it has literally nothing to do with them. But if it does, I make sure I tell them too, right? We have to keep it real. For the sake of longevity, for the sake of love, for the sake of keeping a relationship healthy. So I don't know if anybody else is out there that, has their own communication gaps that they deal with, or anything that they're still learning and growing through. But I want you to know that this is a safe space, and me over here, Dawn Daze, we're not going to judge you. This is a safe space. It's a safe space if you're, still working on your communication skills and everything. Shout out to Auntie Nisi Lou. She's dropping some gems on our Instagram Live. She says, communication definitely saves the nation. It is always good to take that time for yourself, beloved. It is called self-love and self-care. Those of us who have taken the time to heal those scars understand and know how this works. Thank you, Auntie. Yes. Thank you, Auntie. I love that. I love that so much. It is a very, communication is a relationship with those that you love, but it also is a personal relationship. I'm so glad that you mentioned that part about self-care and self-love, because it's so true. Usually it's a reflection of how you feel about yourself. How you communicate with others is a direct connection to that. And oftentimes, like I said, when we're filling in that gap and we choose to use negative thoughts, it has probably something to do with the negative thoughts that we live in on a consistent basis. If we're living in a positive world and we're living in positive thoughts, we're not going to be filling in the gaps with as much negative things, right? So it's truly a yin and yang balance with this when it comes to communication with others and how we communicate with ourselves and love on ourselves. I just want to give another special shout out to the bear version of Daze sitting right here. While we're navigating this planet of love, I'm going to pick him up for a moment so that the people can really see him. Back in Valentine's Day 2020, Daze and I, this was before the pandemic, this was before we moved in together, we were navigating our relationship long distance, and we thought it would be cute as a Valentine's Day gift to each other to make bear versions of one another. So this is the bear version of Days that I made, and while we were in the store, he made a bear version of me, Dawn. I didn't bring her. Honestly, she's looking a little slutty right now. I got a swimsuit on her, and I couldn't find her actual clothes, so I was like, we don't need to bring her in the building. We'll just bring Days. But yeah, I put little glasses on him. He's got a little backpack. For those of you that know Days, he loves his backpack. He's always got a backpack on him. And what's cute about this one is that it has a little rocket ship on it too. And even the bear, he's got the astronaut doing the peace sign. So yeah, when I made this bear of Amir, it just felt like the right thing to do. And of course, Amir sweatpants. He's got some sweatpants that look just like this, that have the gray sweatpants with like a stripe down the side. So, yeah. And of course, this was the I think they called it the basketball bear. So like he's kind of got some like muscles on him. He's a little yoked. I don't know why they made a muscular bear. But when I saw it, it just felt like Days. He's got little basketball printed ears, basketball on his feet too. It's cute. It's cute. It's cute. So yeah, big shout out to the bear version of Days. Big shout out to the actual Days that's sitting on live, smiling with the fresh haircut. You look cute, boo. You looking good. Handsome. Hey. But yeah, thank you guys again. Everybody that's tuning in. I see some people on YouTube. Shout out to the people on YouTube. Shout out to the crew on Instagram Live. We're not live on TikTok today, but shout out to my TikTok family. All those, we appreciate you, we see you, and we honor you. Lots of good things going on these days. Lots of good things. So, this planet of love, we could keep talking about this for hours. We could keep going on and on about this for hours. I just want to reiterate again how important it is that you're keeping it real with those that you love. You're keeping it real with yourself, and you're operating as best as you can in the energy of self-love, in the energy of self-care and forgiveness. If you are able to forgive yourself, it's a lot easier to forgive others. And of course, what's the golden rule? Treat others the way that you seek to be treated. And for me, I seek honesty. I seek respect. I seek understanding. So I choose to operate in that with all those that I love. So we're going to keep on moonwalking. We'll keep on staying in this planet of love. For now, we're going to take a little music break, and then we'll come back in and keep the convo going. Thank y'all. Keep it locked on 101 TKO Radio as we keep moonwalking with Dawn Daze. We are back live, moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. Yeah. So, Daze is still figuring out some of his technical things as he is traveling. So, of course, we've got the beautiful, the intelligent, and lovely Miss Nia Nicole here in the building with us. So we're going to continue this conversation in the planet of love around this subject of honesty without hurt. So, Queen, Miss Nia Nicole, what does honesty without hurt mean to you?
Meaning, well, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Miss Dawn Nicole, here to spark your soul.
Hey.
And it means to me, like, just being able to keep it 100, keeping it real, keeping it 1,000, just with the people that you love. You should be able to. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter how necessarily the person is saying it. You just know that the person is coming from a loving place. Because they wouldn't say it at all if they didn't.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I love that part about they wouldn't say it at all if they didn't actually love you. Now, do you have like a recent example in your life where you've learned that lesson or like really felt like, dang, I'm glad that there was a moment of honesty without hurt with this person?
I can say I don't have a necessary recent moment, but I do have like my best friend Sunny. Shout out to her, Sunny So Fancy. Make sure y'all bump her music as well. And she's coming out here to perform too. I'm not listening party, y'all. On June 1st? Yeah, on June 1st. Yeah. But like people like her where it's just like just always an open conversation where I come for advice or just like am I tripping on this, like how should I react on this. So I don't have a specific moment, but also too like I'm learning communication, being open with like somebody who I'm interested in, like and having I don't have a partner, you guys, but just having like entertaining somebody and just having communication with that person as well, and just being able to say like it don't matter what it is, I just rather you tell me up front, like so that we can have like a close-knit relationship, whether it's going in that direction of romantically or just remaining as friends. Like I'd rather just have like just the open honesty throughout the whole whatever season we're supposed to be in with each other.
I think we all deserve that, you know, especially when we're in a relationship or seeking to be in a relationship with somebody. Like I said, like when Daze and I first started, I was a bit of a hot mess when it came down to communication. I never wanted to make anybody mad. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to tread so lightly. I'm not going to go very deep with what I think. I'm not going to share too much because I'm just so afraid of making anybody upset. But, you know, sometimes you make people upset by not sharing, by hiding things, you know. Well, I may not, in my mind, I don't think I'm hiding anything. Right. But your partner or whoever you may be speaking to feels like you're hiding something because you're not sharing the full truth. So that's so real. That's so real. And it's interesting because you talked about a best friend and you talked about, you know, potential lovers. And technically those are two different ends of the spectrum, but it still kind of pulls from that similar place. Yes. It's that planet of love. Do you ever come across anything with like your family where you feel like honesty with community? Is your family from the Bronx too?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure they don't mind being
vocal.
Honest. Yeah.
They are definitely vocal, too vocal at times. Yeah, I feel like too, family, sometimes they can push it because they like, oh, we're family. I'm
going to keep it real.
Yeah. So it's like you got, and this is something I learned myself too, just growing up. I'm very outspoken as well. Yeah. So I'm the type of person where if we was all thinking it, Naya said it. So that
was you growing up?
Yeah, that was me growing up. Like we was all thinking it, but Naya's the one who's going to actually say it out loud. So I had to learn to navigate that and just be intentional with my wording and think before you speak. You do have to think before you speak because there is some boundaries, and not only just boundaries, but people are sensitive. People are sensitive outside, and granted I'm a sensitive person, but I'm not so sensitive so I can't get feedback from people. So people who are noticing where I feel like okay, they're taking things on like the opposite side of what I was trying to relate to them, the message I was trying to relate to them, I will, take a step back. And it's okay to be outspoken too, to like, no, I don't like how you said it. I don't like how you said that. I'm trying to hear the message, but the messenger is blowing mine.
The messenger is blowing me right now. When did you, because you were saying like you've always kind of been that person, but you had to recently like kind of reel it back. So what was that moment that made you say that?
It's multiple moments. It's not like one specific thing, but it's like noticing noticing past partners saying the same thing
about me. That'll do it.
Yeah, they're saying this. I'm like, okay, well then maybe it wasn't that partner, maybe it is me. So it's like, okay, learning how to be a woman too. On top of that, just being feminine, knowing that I don't have to like be raw about everything, and it's like it's okay. So I'm still having moments where it's like, I just had a moment today. I'm saying something to saying something to him, and it took like a quick second. He was like, well, why you said it like that? Why you talking like that? And I was like, oh, you're right, because I did think that was a little too rough. Like, I was like, okay, just be peaceful. Let's be at peace for this person. It's like, okay, nobody is attacking you. That's another thing too. I always felt like people was coming at me, so I had to have a guard up myself so that they don't hurt my feelings. I try to hurt their feelings first. So it is something I am still working on. Day by day. So it's being able to acknowledge that, you know, you have this issue. You need to, you know, to calm it down.
Yes, that is so good. Before the break, my auntie had kind of said something along those lines of self-care and self-love and how important that is. And similar to you, when you have a guard up, then naturally other people around you are going to have a guard up, because everybody is a mirror to us. If we are not loving on ourselves, then our words are not going to be received with love. So I feel you on that. That's very real. It's just so interesting too, because my family, I grew up in Houston, but my dad is from upstate New York, so he is also from a family that keeps it blunt and keeps it real. Sometimes a little too real, especially when I got older and I actually like noticed how everyone was talking to each other. I was like, dang. But it was interesting because they may have been honest, but they didn't really care about the hurt. But the honesty of it was rooted more in humor and in jokes. So they'll make jokes and they'll say things I'm like, haha, but no,
it's not funny.
That's actually not funny. Why did you say it like that? And I noticed myself doing that even with Daze. I will be sarcastic. I'll make jokes and I'll be like, okay, that really wasn't nice. I probably just should have said how I actually felt rather than trying to
be funny.
Be funny, because I think trying to be funny makes it worse. But it's something that I genuinely learned from my family, especially like my dad.
That's especially Black culture. We love to point and make a joke, and then when somebody reacts like, oh, why are you so sensitive? And like, well, you just disrespecting me.
You're making me the brunt of your joke. Like, that's not cool. No, that's so true. And what you mentioned about staying in our feminine, bruh. I think that's another issue in Black culture. You know, Black women. Amir and I were watching something recently that was saying that Black women, I might be misspeaking when I say this, but I want to make sure I say it right. Black women have pretty much been the biggest tool in the white man's army for oppressing the Black family. I'm going to say that again. Black women have been the biggest tool in the white man's army to oppress the Black family. Essentially meaning, if we take this all the way back to African American slavery, going way back, when they would beat our men and beat them so much to the point where they were not able to fight for us, and they see us being taken advantage of, and they can do nothing about it. And psychologically, we look at them as weak-minded, and that has been consistently been reinforced in other ways, whether it's through welfare or the prison system, so on and so forth. So, you know, I'm not going to blame me and you completely, Naya. Like, it's not all the way our fault, but we have a responsibility to take, because it's real. It's really happening where we feel like, you know, I'd rather just take my welfare checks and raise my kids on my own. Well, I don't need a man, you know? And that's consistently programmed into our minds. I feel like we have to actively fight against that every day to not take that path, you know?
And the man got to be a man. Like, come on, y'all men is real sassy. I want to be real clear. There's a lot of men out here sassy and will lead you down the drain, okay? And it will drain your energy. So if you need to be submissive, I understand the role that we need to be, but it's like y'all got to play y'all part too in order for us to not have to, quote unquote, rely on the government, rely on self playing both roles. Like, you know how tiring that is? Come on now. It's half y'all too.
Now, I love that. Let's dive, because I think we've heard the phrase sassy men, and I like your passion, and I know you're going to speak it the right way. What advice can you give these men that you feel like are sassy, and how can a woman identify when a man is being a sassy man?
All right, well, sassy and broke. Let's it's both of those, y'all, because I've dealt with that. I dealt with both. The sassiness is like I'm not saying you cannot be emotional. You should have some type of emotions, but it's like where you're fighting me and my feminine energy. Like we're battling between that, and it's like you're doing like it's the gossip. It's like you're not leading. It gives you're not a leader. You're giving boy. That's like sassy. You're not not necessarily your interest in gender type. You know, it's just like you're just real. You want to play my part too. Like you understand. You're not doing anything to provide. The man is provider. You're not providing, okay? And then you laid up here. It just you're not doing anything to motivate me or to want to be submissive to you, to follow you, to lead you, whatever it is. Just to cater as a woman, the nurture. It's like I gotta be a man and a woman, and and you next to me too, kissing them. It's just sassy. that's what sassy to me is. Just not playing your part, not helping me with just not helping in what a man should be doing, like providing. And it don't just mean financially too, like providing support, providing around, just providing what needs to be done, like just make yourself useful. That's all it is, because it's something like it's not, because I don't want to take your finances your character is not based on your finances. Like I can look past finances, okay, but you can't just not be providing anything. It's some type of give and take. That's with anything and anybody in life, relationship. They got to be a give and take relationship, or you're going to feel drained because that person is just taking. So that's the sassiness with they keep taking from you. That's money, that's energy, that's your time, that's what your kids' food, snacks, anything. Nothing, no regard, nothing is helping you in any type of aspect in life. Shit. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. We talking that talk, y'all. I need to like pick up a broom or something, do something. And then like broke, it's like I've been with broke, and it's not fun to be on that side. And like I said, you don't gotta be the millionaire right now, but it's like you gotta be able to pay for your food, like be able to pay for something, pay for something. I haven't had, and I am wanting to seek that, not necessarily right now, but I am wanting to have some type of relationship where it's like I'm being cared for throughout the whole thing. Like I don't got to worry about this, that, and the third. It's like I do want that, but I understand like the part I play. I don't have to, like everything doesn't have to fall on the man. I do feel like there's balance on certain things, but it's like you have to give me something like to feed off of. In order for it to work, or I'll get real agitated.
No, I have very little to add. Naya really hit a lot of the points that I would say. You can't just be taking with nothing in return. You can't feel like you're just giving to an empty well. Yeah,
just a couch potato. Nothingness. That's sassiness. You got no job. You got nothing motivating you to do. That's sassiness. Because you're a grown man here waiting for handouts. A man that want a handout is sassy. That's sassy.
Bruh, I love this. I'm so glad I asked you this question. I'm so glad I asked, because this is the energy we need, y'all. We gotta hold y'all men accountable with love, and we gotta hold the women accountable, right? Everybody needs to be held accountable, but we're talking about the men right now. We talking about the men.
Yes, women too. And another thing from Chelsea Speaks, women are dope. Something I learned, I forget who said it on stage, but they was like, be a man's basically peace and freak, and I was like, it's that simple. You're right. It ain't that difficult. And
you
I'm
said
like,
peace and freak.
Peace and freak. She said I forget who it was on the panel, but she said be a man's peace and freak. That's all they need. And I said, okay, like it's not that difficult. Once you provide that, they will, do what they gotta do too. But they should be doing that regardless. But still, it helps when you're being peaceful. They don't want to come home to the arguing. Right. I don't even want to come home to that. So it's like I can understand that aspect too. So woman, be a woman. Don't allow the man to be a man. Let him think that he made the decision. I have to learn that too. Like you gotta. It's like reverse psychology, but you're implanting the idea that you want, but for them to think that they thought of themselves. I'm learning that, ladies.
No, that's so good. What was it? It was in one of my favorite movies, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Random movie, but I loved that movie. And at the beginning of the movie, the main character, her mom was talking to her, and she was like, the man may be the head of the house, but the woman is the neck, and the neck can make the head go any way she wants. That, I don't know, those were bars when I was a kid.
That is a bar.
That really stuck with me. So I've been trying to kind of like take on that mindset. You touched on something that I'm learning in real time. I do not have all the answers, but this is something that Days and I kind of, when we get into our own conversations about this, it's like a chicken or the egg thing. What's meant to come first? Should you be acting in your submissive, peaceful freakiness first, or should you be seeing your man providing and everything first? For me, my energy, I'm like, how can I submit to something that is not worth submitting to? But then the man might say, why should I provide for someone that is not worth providing for? Ideally, right, it would be balanced. Both are bringing to the table at the same time. There's no need to go back and forth on it. But if you're in a relationship where y'all are both learning in real time, and for our generation, that's pretty much all of us. No one is coming into things just knowing how things are done. Who sets the example first? Who's meant to set the tone?
The man.
Simple.
Granted, I feel like it's the man, but granted, I feel like as a woman, you're already nurturing at full. At full. You're already submitting somewhat, like not necessarily fully, but you're already submitting your energy to this person. You're already doing what you need to do. I feel like feminine wise,
just by existing.
So now you got to give me something to show that you are a leader, or something that I would want to feel comfortable submitting to. So I need to see some type of energy or effort or whatever it is I am looking for, seeking in that relationship before I can continue to give out that spew out that energy to you. Yeah. So I feel like we're already giving that. That's what they attract to already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love that, and that's kind of how I feel too. I think for all my men out there, if y'all are looking for a submissive woman, then you need to make sure that you're doing the right space. You have to provide an environment for her where her parasympathetic nervous system, right, our fight or flight system, needs to be chill and peaceful. And I promise you won't hear shit. You won't hear jack-ish from your lady if you're providing an environment where it's easy for her to be at peace. You won't have to worry about whether or not she's being submissive. You'll see it immediately if you're providing that space, if you're creating a healthy environment for her. And that's their job. I agree with you. It starts with the man first.
I feel like they should be chasing.
Yeah.
They should do the chasing.
Yeah. I agree. Well, y'all, we're going to keep on rocking in this planet of love as we continue to moonwalk with Dawn Daze. Don't go anywhere. We got more. Keep it locked. 101 TKO Radio. What's up? We are back live, moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. Thank y'all for coming back. Yes. Thank y'all for coming back and joining us. In the last hour, we were talking about the planet of love. Me and Naya Nicole, we just ended the Sassy Man apocalypse with one conversation. Y'all need to go back, look at our YouTube, look at our Instagram. If you missed it, you missed out on some gold because we was dropping some gems for all my ladies and men out there. And let's always keep the conversation going. Of course, make sure that you call into the station if you ever want to talk to us. The number is 678-439-7419 if you ever want to call in and join in on the conversation. So, thank y'all for, again, tuning in and listening to the planet of love. Now, I think Daze is going to be able to call in and join us, so we're getting ready to have him come in. I see he's sent a live request, so I think he should be calling in soon. So we'll be positioned and ready for him to come in. Let me just make sure that's all plugged up. Okay. So, excuse me. Like I said, I'm a little stuffy, so excuse the stuffiness. All right, Daze is calling in. Love it. We're going to test this calling in live feature in real time. Call again? Okay, he's handling the call again. I love it. In this second hour, we're going to keep the conversation going in the world of walking on business, talking to my artistpreneurs out there, and, of course, music, movies, and media, talking about some of the things that are happening in that world. So make sure that you guys are keeping it locked here. We have a lot more that we're going to be discussing. And, of course, we're testing out this live call feature right now. I hear myself in the headphones, so that's a good sign. Daze, can you hear us?
Yes, I believe so.
Nice. Okay. So I hear you through the ears too, so that's a good sign. I'm going to turn the live down.
Let's maybe turn volume down where you need it. Okay, cool. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Okay, Naya, are we good? Okay. Bet. So, Daze, I know we had already had the discussion. You might need to... Yep. Okay. I know we already had the discussion about Planet Love, but just since you're joining us now, would love to get your thoughts, too, on the subject around honesty without hurt. I'm sure you heard me and Naya's discussion about Sassy Man Apocalypse. I said after the break, I was like, I hope Amir took some notes, because everybody can learn a little something on how we can balance out our feminine and masculine energy. So, Daze, why don't you tell the people some of the thoughts you have around that subject when it comes to honesty without hurt and, you know, the chicken or the egg, who should be submitting to who, how should you set up the system so that a woman can properly submit?
Indeed. Well, let us rejoice. On today, May 16th, 2024, the Sassy Man Apocalypse has ended. Ladies and gentlemen, have no fear.
The day has come.
We truly love to see it. It's an honor to really be on this journey. Want to make sure the audio's coming through okay. Y'all good?
Yeah, we hear you okay, but I can still hear myself for some reason. Yeah, are you listening through the app, Daze? Or did you call in?
So I called in, so I have one phone on Instagram Live. Shout out to everybody that's here that's workshopping with us.
Yeah.
So I have one phone on Instagram Live and one phone that called in via phone call. So I put it on mute when you talk.
Okay, yeah.
And I take them off mute when I'm talking.
Yeah, do that. Turn everything down, I think. Maybe even taking it off of the car phone because we can hear that echo pretty bad over on our end. Yo, Cuzzo just joined. Shout out to JD. J Dot. Okay, I think we're good.
So it wasn't on the car phone, it was on speaker, so maybe that's a little better. Is that a little better?
Yep, we're good.
Yep. All right, but yeah, definitely shout out to J Dot in the building. It's a beautiful conversation.
Yes, it is.
Oh no, not the bear looking like.
No, the bear Loki does look like J Dot.
That's lit. So yeah, we're talking about this divine relationship between each other. Do you mind muting on your side? Is it possible?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll go ahead and get on my soapbox for a quick second. Certainly, shout out to y'all. All of that energy, I receive it wholeheartedly. Just to answer one of the simple questions: where does it come first, or who comes first? Ain't no doubt about it. I believe that when it comes down to a man taking initiative, you see that poetically in many different environments, right? You see it in holy books. The woman Eve being from Adam's rib. When you talk about courting, the courting process, and who is typically the one to get on one knee, if you will. We certainly don't want to normalize things. We don't want to be heteronormative in how we speak to things irresponsibly. In that same regard, I think we're speaking to what we feel should be the norm. What is the norm across peoples, across mindsets, across cultures when it comes down to this divine masculine and divine feminine energy?
Yeah.
When it comes down to, masculine and feminine, if you will. So we are in a time, no doubt about it, where we all got challenges. And one of the most important things that a man ensures he stays true to is his purpose, and he needs to stay true to his composure. And when you lose your composure, when you are in a situation where you're clearly panicking, when you're not focused, and when your confidence is clearly shaken and you're making excuses, you throw away a lot of your strength and a lot of your power. I think we're in a unique time right now because people are exploring a lot of aspects of their identity. And if we're going to be honest, we aren't all black and white. You know what I'm saying? It's not all masculine and all feminine. Even when it comes down to men that are girl dads, they're called to tap in with their feminine in a special way, especially if they want to be able to speak to her. But that doesn't mean that they should become feminine in a inappropriate way, if that makes sense. They shouldn't necessarily start acting like a woman or trying to do a woman's job. I definitely agree with that point that was spoken on. Just kind of getting caught up and competing. And I wanted to make it very clear as well, even just kind of bringing it full circle when we talk about men and what's going on with this moment in hip hop between Kendrick Lamar, between Drake, and how that's spoken to me and how I think it speaks to a lot of the culture. And even between both of them, they're both calling out different ways to be better men. Hey, I see you slipping in this way or that way as far as what we consider the norm of a good man being. So I'm going to poke at that because that's not it. And ultimately, that's what I take away from it. Sometimes men need things like hip-hop to really receive the message. And we see it all the time. A lot of men channel that energy into hip-hop and sports. It's definitely one of those things where we got to find those responsible things to, channel our masculinity and our intensity into. What's good, Cuzzo? Shout out to, what I'm saying? Big Cuzzo, T-Reed in the building.
Hey, Cuzzo.
And talk about, again, what being a man is. Cuzzo, again, is a veteran. He's a man that went on that process and is a real deal Marine. And beyond that, girl dad, father, husband, the list goes on. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Big Cuzzo, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate the brotherhood. I've made some of my first songs in his home. Like, literally, the first time I heard myself back on wax was in his basement. So, this is one of those things. Special shout out to Big Cuzzo Brandon. Shout out to Bellis. It's definitely very important to ensure that we have the right influences around us because there is no doubt about it. I'm here to take responsibility for all of the, shortcomings, but I'm locked in. So it's just like, I'm not, foreign to turn an L to a lesson. And that's where I really want to instill that in a lot of other men is the ability to persevere. Because I feel like a lot of brothers, y'all sisters, y'all speak strong. And even when y'all was talking right now, again, like, I feel the passion because we care. And a lot of men can't handle it. because they might be too sassy, and it breaks their spirit, and they run away and neglect. It's one thing to walk away from conflict and focus on yourself. It's another thing to run away and hide.
Yeah.
And never really address what you need to address. So a lot more to be spoken on, but I just want to, say humbly that it's definitely big me. But shout out to the concept of any big three in any situation. I'm here to admire my brothers that they're doing great things alongside me. Yeah, sure, we can stand on that podium, gold, silver, bronze. Do your thing, player. I'm here to compete, have healthy competition. But my mindset is always and forever, hey, it's just me out here. I'm not competing. And that's where sometimes when men, I feel like, get a little sassy is when they start sharing things with other men that shouldn't be shared. You know what I'm saying? And a man going to get getting your own roof, making sure you're working on your own job, your own purpose. Men be trying to share not only clothes, but part of my language, they be trying to share the house. So that's dangerous. That can make some sassy behavior, because that's an intimate space that you might not want to share. And that can translate. So we'll talk more about it. But definitely want to kick it off to you. Hopefully that gave a little bit of insight to my energy. But shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Nia, Nicole, Mickey LaDawn. You know what I'm saying? Collaboration. That's fire.
Bow. No, that's great. That's great. I'm gonna exactly. So summarizing what you're saying, Daze, is pretty much when a man is not able to build his own thing and he's too focused on sharing it with other men, or it's not foundationally sound with himself, then his capacity to be sassy is increased. It's essentially what it comes down to. We're dealing with sassy men because these men haven't built something for themselves enough. And they feel like they're competing with their women, or they feel like they're competing with other men, when they should really just be focusing on the me versus me dynamic and building for self, so that they can actually build a space where a woman can be at peace and be properly submissive. Yeah?
There it is. Yeah. And just real quick, because I'm with my mama right now.
Shout out to, hey, Miss Alyssa, my mama in love. Hey.
Salute.
Y'all look London ready.
Oh yeah, you know the vibes. Volume on your side real quick. Take a couple minutes. Appreciate it. Make sure we got the feedback, technical difficulties. We're making it work, y'all.
In real time. Thank you to everybody that's listening in and going on a journey with us. What a beautiful thing. We are really moonwalking.
Oh, yes, Lord. So one of the reasons I really honor my mother, and I'm honored to be her son, is because this has been a major conversation for a long time. What it means to be a man, where it means to be focused. And contrary to popular belief, ladies and gentlemen, I spend a lot of time in the mirror holding myself accountable and criticizing myself. Not just, again, admiring my handsome essence. I like looking in the mirror, but I'm definitely not trying to spend too much time in the mirror, because, we got work to do. And, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty, but I'm also not afraid to groom myself.
Yeah.
There's levels to it. Obviously, I know the conversation around painting nails and stuff, again, that's a whole separate dialogue. We'll save that for another show. Only experience I've had my nails painted is clear paint after hitting the, getting a manicure, pedicure with my mom or her sister. And maybe when I was little, my little sister tried to paint my nails a color. But, yeah, I haven't necessarily explored that side of fashion. That's a whole different conversation. I definitely would like to talk to some brothers that do that consistently and what their perspective is, and also brothers on the other side that think it's completely wrong. That said, as a man, when it comes down to how you show up and this concept of getting your hands dirty while also keeping your hands clean. And that's where I feel like there's a lot of temptation to do illegal things, to prove your masculinity, and thinking that money is the only thing that equates to what's going to get you respect in that masculine framework. And again, going back to the conversation with my mom over the years, she's been a very big proponent of me presenting myself and presenting myself well and showing up to be the best that I can be in all that I do.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to one of the big challenges that I've been able to overcome, because we're in that season, we're speaking it over ourselves. I feel like I've really climbed out of some darkness.
Mhm.
When it comes down to how you build that consistency for yourself, how you find your purpose, and you're working on something, you're building something for yourself, there's layers to it, because respect is important. Sometimes when you're building something for yourself, you have to go learn from other people and learn how they built their things. So we've been on this journey of building our company, our LLC,
Yep.
and there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. When I started this relationship, when I started this LLC, there were a lot of things I could have done to be more prepared. But that's life, you know? When it comes down to it, once that stage goes on, once the spotlight's on you, are you going to try or are you going to run off stage? Whether you're prepared or not, are you going to try?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what separates a lot of folks. A lot of folks, because they don't feel like they're completely buttoned up, they don't feel like they're completely prepared, they're not even going to try. They're going to bow out.
Well, that's where I feel like you see a lot of men
Again,
that
there's
are
levels to it.
on that end of the spectrum.
I can hear you right this second. Go ahead.
I said, I think that's why you see a lot of men that are kind of on the other end of the spectrum, you know, get that label of, was it incel? Imsel? Something like that, where you're saying that these men are do-nothingers.
Yeah, incels.
Yeah, incels. They're do-nothingers. They have nothing going for themselves, but it's really because they're operating out of a space of fear and choosing to hide rather than trying to push themselves outside of that comfort zone. And I think we're seeing a lot more men lean towards that, not because they're not capable, but because the environment that they might be in or the society that we're seeing today is not promoting them or pushing them or even encouraging them to build something for themselves or positively be themselves, right? It's almost like bad man, over and over and over again. And it becomes harder and harder for them to kind of climb up and build something for themselves. So it's real. It's very real.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a very fine line of respecting that it's hard, but also nobody cares. Don't make any excuses. Nobody, do not talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
You can sit here and complain about all day about how hard it is. But at the end of the day, nobody really cares. Make it happen. Make it happen. Nobody cares. And that's where, respectfully, I've just been finding that balance, because you obviously have to consider your mental health. You have to legitimize what happens to you in this universe. You have to legitimize the psychological, the emotional, the spiritual, the mental, the physical things that you experience. But ultimately, do that within yourself and then go make it happen. And this is where I'm honored to be on this journey, because ain't no doubt about it. I got some scars, but I love them. I love them very much. And even when it comes down to a movie like Lion King, Simba's uncle being named Scar. I got some uncles. I got some older men. Again, my father has his own scars. So even when it comes down to elders that might be poor influences, it's not an excuse.
Yeah.
You have to choose. Again, you can't make an excuse because the previous generation moved this way or that way. You got to go within yourself. If you have the ability, if you have the tools, you have to make the changes. And our families depend on it when it comes down to that structure. And we can sit here and complain about this, that, or the third, whether you're talking about the white man, the system, the matrix. It's not easy.
Yep.
Regardless, for anybody in any race. And that's where we have to have a multifaceted, responsible perspective on what it means to be a man within our culture, but also beyond our culture, and what it means to be a good human being. And that's where us respecting women, us respecting how you view things. And when you talk about peace, oh, you're not going to hear anything. I hear that, and I respect that. Ultimately, I'm going to also respect that to do that day in and day out. It's one thing to be able to create a weekend where you can give a woman some peace and prosperity, or make her feel at peace and protected, and provide for her for a weekend. Like a lot of brothers out here, I'll fly you out for a weekend, but how, when you put together 365 days in a year, how does that work for you, Playboy?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it means to be a man of a house. That's what it means to be a husband. That's what it means to be a father. When you're stringing together, things year after year, week after week. You know what I'm saying? You're going 52 weeks straight. Again, it's a lot of love all across the board, just having the blessing of seeing a lot of men go on their journeys, and that's why community is very important. And a lot of young men are disconnected from older men. And we're not going to deny that black men have a lot of chips stacked against them, whether it be for opportunity, profiling, whatever it is. But again, y'all hit it right on the nail. The man definitely has to show up, take initiative, and that's what's going to be respected.
Every time. Every time. Every time. Well, Days, it's always a pleasure to be able to sit and talk with you. It's also always a pleasure to be able to sit and talk with you on camera and have others hear how we banter and how we share and how we're learning in real time and sharing our vulnerability in our relationship with those that are willing to tune into it. So thank you for joining in live with us as we continue to keep moonwalking with Dawn and Days. We got a little bit more time left, so make sure that you don't go anywhere. We're going to pay the bills and come right back. Keep it locked on 101 TKO Radio.
1, 2, check up, baby, let me know what's up.
Welcome back. We are Moonwalking with Dawn Daze on 101 TKO Radio. Today has been a fun day. We've been taking a bit of a different approach. We had Daze call in since he'll be going across the pond to London tomorrow. We had our beautiful in-house engineer, Miss Nia Nicole. Make sure you tune in to She Like Radio every Tuesday, also on 101 TKO Radio. Me and Nia Nicole, we just ended the Sassy Man Apocalypse. You're welcome. And if you missed it, make sure you check out our YouTube and Instagram for all of the great conversations we've had here today, talking about honesty without hurt, talking about communication, talking about how we can take things to a new level. And of course, the music was chosen by yours truly to really set the tone. I intentionally included Willow because not only did she just release a dope album that I am consistently coming back to, I love the direction she's going with, like, just being so unapologetic in her alt music space. Her Tiny Desk was amazing. And me as an artist and a singer, I really resonated with the directions that she's taking her music and the peace that her music brings. So I really respect what she's doing. She's actually going to be going on tour with another great Atlanta legend, Childish Gambino. If y'all missed it, he just dropped his own surprise album, y'all. So really great stuff from him. The music that he's putting out has a message. It's impactful. So I'm really looking forward to their tour. I think that's going to be really great. Also, big shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. She just announced her tour dates as well. And now only person I'm waiting on is Beyonce. Beyonce, where are the tour dates? You obviously got this big old 18-wheeler that says Cowboy Carter on it. What are the dates? I'm trying to make sure I got my coin saved properly. That's at least 3 tours that we're talking about here that are going to be coming up. So lots of great stuff going on in the music and media and movie space. I want to also give a big shout out to Netflix, because when they said that we had to pay for like the house thing, I definitely did not try and continue my subscription. When I couldn't use my dad's Netflix anymore, I was like, oh yeah, I ain't messing with Netflix anymore. But they got me back. That's what I want to shout them out. They just pulled me back in because I definitely want to see season 3 of Bridgerton, which came out today at 3 a.m. I almost made it, but I was too sick to be able to stay up to watch that first episode. And I really admire Netflix's new live strategy. Not only did they have a really good comedy special with Cat Williams recently, Woke Folk, and the roast of Tom Brady was really dope too. So big shout out to Netflix. Y'all earned me back as a customer just because y'all are doing good business, and I respect that. So yeah, shout out to everybody, all the great music, all the great art that's going on right now. It's got some good vibes in the air. And before we close out, I just want to give a special shout out to all my artistpreneurs out there. We have sponsorship packages. We have interview packages. If you're interested in promoting yourself or your music on our platform, please make sure you hit us up. You can find us on Instagram at the NASA Family, and we'll connect you with the right people if you are looking to be interviewed live on our show. We also have other great shows on 101 TKO Radio. If Thursdays don't work for you, I'm sure we've got somebody that could appeal to whatever needs you're looking for to promote your business, your brand, or just whatever you think is important that the people needs to hear about. So make sure you hit us up. We've got a lot of different avenues and a lot of great ways to promote. Now, in true moonwalking fashion, I got to give you a brief little astral reading. Big shout out to the first quarter moon yesterday. The first quarter moon in Leo. And Leo is also a fire sign. It's kind of known as the fire sign. It's the lion. It's the strength energy. It's the sun. And so if you've been feeling like now's the time to really rise and shine and let yourself be seen, you are aligned with the moon. You are moving in the right direction. Make sure that you're keeping everything intentional. Make sure you're keeping everything with that third eye in mind so that you are doing the best that you can to honor that fire within you. Honor that masculine energy, that get it done, that go-getter, the ones that make things happen. This first quarter moon is all about that. Maybe call that one friend that always knows how to give you those words of affirmation and those words of wisdom. This is the time to call that friend. Hey, Cuzzo, what's up, J. Dot? Thanks for joining us. Because this first quarter moon in Leo is bringing us so many good things. And I really want to make sure that we're all aligning ourselves with it, because next week will be another fire sign, the Sagittarius full moon. So all week, we're going to be going from one major fire sign moon moment to another major fire sign moon moment next week. So get into the flow. Whatever big things you're planning for the summer, this is a great week to make sure you're making those intentions, making those plans. Get out your planner, write down what you plan on doing, call the people that are going to hold you accountable, and post about it. Y'all, don't hide. If posting's not part of your strategy, I'm not judging you, but this is not the time to hide, y'all. You got to put yourselves out there. This is the time for it. And checking in. Summer is around the corner. How is spring going for you? Are your flowers properly planted? Do you see some things starting to bloom? If not, you better water them before summer comes in June. Yep. I love it. I love the energy. Now, Cuzzo, Libra season ain't until the fall. You trying to distract me. I'm excited for Libra season 2. I know that's when you're going to be 18, so much respect to you. Much respect. I know. I respect Libra season as well, but we talking about Leo. We talking about fire signs right now. I love you. But thank y'all again for joining us. Thank y'all for moonwalking with us. It's great to have people live in the mix. J. consistently comes to support, so much love to you, family. Thank you for being in the presence and being in the mix. Big shout out to Daze, tuning in live with us too on Instagram. Appreciate everyone that's tuning in. All the people on YouTube, anybody that might be on TikTok. We honor you, we see you, and we love you. Thank you again. It's very much appreciated. Always, you can find me, Mickey LaDawn, at Mickey, Mikki, LaDawn, LaDawn. Of course, right now we have the teddy bear version of Daze, but if you want to follow Daze, it's at Amir Daze, AmirDaze. And you can find us on TikTok at Dawn Daze. And of course, you can find us on Instagram at the NASA family. And if you're tuning in live on Instagram, we see you and we love you. We appreciate you. Of course, this is all housed at the beautiful Privy Stonecrest here in Atlanta. So make sure you're tuning in to everything going on here in Privy and tuning in to all things that have to do with 101 TKO Radio. We are outside. It's nice and warm outside. We've got great events coming. Make sure you're keeping it locked, not only on the radio station, on our website, on our app, on our YouTube, Instagram. There's so many different ways to make sure you're staying connected. And we're going to be all over Atlanta this summer. So want to make sure that you guys are not missing out. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And until next time, make sure you keep it moonwalking. And we'll see you again. Keep it locked on 101 TKO Radio.